Hello, welcome to the continuation of my Bible study from John chapter 4. Unusually today, it's actually taken me, this is the third go at actually just getting going. You know when you do this sort of thing, suddenly you're like, I haven't got a clue what I'm saying, and my mind goes blank. But I think I'm there now, ready to go. We'll see, we'll see if that happens again. Anyway, it's good to be with you. I appreciate the feedback and the comments, and want to just continue to enjoy this study together, enjoy learning together and growing together. So I want to pick up in John chapter 4 again, and just a slightly different focus today. I want to look at this Samaritan lady and what happens with her, and really the whole thing of evangelism that's clearly happening around her. Now, if you remember this lady, she comes in the middle of the day, and you're someone coming like that is clearly being ostracized, from society. It's not the best time to come draw water, and she's come on her own rather than with friends. And you would expect normally to there to be this sense of community around someone, but she's on her own. She meets Jesus. Jesus offers her living water, and he takes her on a journey of discovery. And then the challenge comes when he says to her, "Bring me your husband." Now, that's a word of knowledge from Jesus, and she says, "Well, yeah, I got I haven't got a husband." And Jesus says, "Yeah, you're right. You've had five husbands. The man you're with isn't a husband." And it opens her heart to Jesus. He does it in such a way that she doesn't go into condemnation. She doesn't go, "Here's another one." But it's almost like she's looking, going, "Here's someone talking to me that clearly knows my background." Now that must have been a novelty to her on its own. Yeah, she was used to, I suspect, people shunning her, holding back from her, keeping away from her. And yet, here she was with Jesus talking to her. And Jesus makes this declaration that he is the Messiah. He's the one, as he says, speaking to you, I'm he. And it's at that point, it says in John 4, chapter 27, that the disciples arrive back. Now, their response is interesting again. It says they're surprised to find him talking to a woman, um, you know, let alone a Samaritan woman. And so they're surprised. So to me, it gives an indication this lady must have been surprised. Now, interestingly, it says they don't ask any questions. They don't ask what do you want or why are you talking to her. Um, but at that point, this lady, he goes back to the town. She goes back to the town, and it says she says to the people, "Come see a man who told me everything I ever did. This could be the Messiah." Now, I think I said before, but that even that statement amuses me because I'm sure on one level the people are going, "Yeah, we know all about you. Yeah, you know what small places are like, or where people tend to know each other and the gossip and the talk that can go around." Yeah, and she's saying, "Well, he told me everything." And they're probably thinking, "We could have told you everything." But it's clear that something happens in their hearts that goes deeper because she's saying, "Come and meet the Messiah, come and meet Jesus," not in those words. She's posing it as a question: could he be the Messiah? And you know, they respond. It says they come out of the town and make their way towards him. So you suddenly got this crowd of people who are responding to the gospel. You have this crowd of people that are moving forward physically, but it's a representation of a journey of discovery. And I think we need to maybe have in our minds when we're thinking of the gospel, sometimes, it's something through evangelical Christianity and feel that, the gospel and the response to a gospel is a moment in time. And it was for me, and I know it is for many people. But if we were to step back, though there may have been a moment in time, there's a journey as well across time. And that journey is really, really important. And for people that are going to find a long God, even if they make a momentary decision, they have to quickly start putting down deep roots so that, as in the parable, when the things of life come, they don't fall away. So for many people, their roots have been going down for months, even years, before they might even see themselves as believers, might have taken that step. So here you've got a crowd coming out to discover. The disciples, they've arrived back, and as the disciples come, you know, so as the crowd comes out, and they're asking Jesus to eat. He says, "I have food you know nothing about." We covered some of that. Um, and then he says this interesting statement. He says, "Don't you have a saying? It's still 4 months to the harvest. I tell you, open your eyes and look at the fields there, ripe to harvest." And I think this is the challenge of the gospel, that we have a mentality that says the fields are ripe to harvest, and not a mentality that says one day, sometime, months more, than the harvest. And so when Jesus is making that statement, he's making it probably aware of a crowd that are coming out. He's making a declaration that this is the harvest, and that this is not to the Jewish people. You know, this is this town, a people that probably see as being outside the gospel, outside, and trying to express it well. They're not Jewish people, but that's the harvest. And I think Jesus is laying out that challenge to his disciples. He's opened their eyes to a bigger picture. So what do we have here? We have the crowd coming out. They're the harvest field. There's a ripeness in their hearts towards God. And Jesus makes a few other statements, but it says this. It says, many of the Samaritans from that town believed in him because of the woman's testimony, which was, he told me everything I ever did. So there's the power of our testimony, that people might believe because something in their hearts resonates with our testimony. I think on one level, we know how the gospel can split the crowd. On one level, their responses to he told me everything I ever did is there's something profound. The other level, I'm sure there's some that, like, well, we all knew that. And so they came to Jesus, and it says that they urged him to stay. You see, what's going on is their hearts have been triggered. They want to discover. They're believing, these people are believing because they've heard something. And as Jesus spoke, it says, because of his words, many more became believers. And there's this ongoing process. So out of the crowd, some are immediate responders and some listen to more. And it goes on. It says this in verse 42. It says, they said to the woman, this is the crowd, this is the bunch of people. We no longer believe just because of what you said. Now we've heard for ourselves, and we know this man really is the Saviour of the world. And it says he stayed there 2 days. Now, it doesn't say that the whole place became believers. It says, verse 41, many more became believers. So I want us to see this progress that happens in the gospel. And I think we need to lift the pressure off ourselves, that actually our role is to be disciplers of nations. And that means that we're sharing our life and our experience of Jesus, his amazingness. We're sharing our stories, our testaments. We're not getting pressured to make an opportunity, but we are making use of the opportunities. That opportunity to pray, that opportunity to encourage, that opportunity to help people see. And this lady went on a journey of her eyes being open to the gospel. And then the result was of her testimony, a town has many people that are transformed. So we bring that down to our world, our day-to-day life. Share your faith where it's appropriate. Don't be under pressure. Don't feel you have to get the full gospel in. Don't feel like it used to be. I used to hear it taught, if you don't, then maybe they'll get run over by a bus. Isn't our God bigger than that? You know, I look at my own journey, the number of moments that I can look at and go, God orchestrated something so that I would meet with him. He didn't look at me and say, if that person fails to speak to Nick Pengelly, he'll be under the bus. It's not like that. We're not under that sort of pressure, but we're released to share our faith freely. This lady did. It impacted the town. As we do not know the impact. We do not know where someone is on their journey, but we can become part of their journey. Many stories of that. I'm not necessarily the best at the bit, was the salvation prayer, as I used to see it, getting someone there. But I'm good at telling stories, sharing my life. And you'll have ways that work for you, and I encourage you to do that and to find that. Bless you. I think we're out of time, so thank you again for being with me, and look forward to the next one of these. Bye for now.